Just goes to show you guys, bad habits are hard to kill. Welcome back, y'all, to the Challenge All Stars 4 recap episodes. I am, of course, DeAndre. Thank you for coming to the DeAndre Way recap of the show. I am solo dolo today. Bree has some things going on. She was moving and is a very busy time. So she is taking care of her business this week, and we're going to see her again next week. Once again, appreciate y'all. Make sure to come subscribe to the DeAndre Way. I really appreciate every single one of y'all coming through. If there's another show that y'all thinking of me wanting to dive into, let me know. We're getting to the halfway point, slowly but surely. But yeah, I'm enjoying the season so far. It's a 10 out of 10 for me. The music, the most of the drama, the reliving the old times with all these cast members. The excitement they're bringing is way better than the main show has been in years. So All Stars is where it's at. It's where it's been, and hopefully, it's where it stays to be. Maybe the main show will come back and surprise me next season, season 40. But right now, we in season 4 of All Stars, and we gonna get right into it. And so we left off with the elimination. Rachel came back, of course, after beating Ayana. Sad Ayana's gone, my sweetheart. But yes, one of my favorite songs, "Who's That Girl" by Eve. Who's that girl? La 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 la. Was playing when she came back because Rachel's that girl, of course. And we get back to the house. So Rachel, Ryan, and Veronica are talking about how Tina's been losing every single mission. She's in last place every single time, and she got a basically a free star. That's why she got her snatched and gave it to Veronica. Veronica ain't really been doing much either. Um, Tina and Veronica ain't been doing nothing. At this whole game, Rachel's been carrying them on her back. She's basically their Moses at this point, doing everything above the sun, of everything under the sun. And they're like I said, I'm giving them a hard time, of Rachel about being aligned to them. But I mean, those are her girls, so I understand why that's going down. So I get it. If my friends were on this show and we've been friends for 15, 20 plus years, I'd have their back too, regardless of what's going down. So I give her a hard time with it, but I understand the reasons why. But they just ain't doing it. My friends are cutting. I'm like, look, y'all, this is a game at the end of the day, and I got to protect myself. And if it comes down to it, y'all losing every single mission. I only can do so much. So I just hope Rachel and Veronica and Tina have this transparency to where they're like, look, we get it, yo, you carrying us right now. But yeah, she's doing all the heavy lifting and whatnot, and so we'll see how long that lasts. But it doesn't seem to be lasting too much longer because Rachel bows out gracefully this episode, but we'll get there. Soon we see Cam talking to Nicole about the whole car Rachel situation, and she said she wasn't in. Cam says she wasn't in on Cara's plan, and if she's not in on something, then she has to be against it. Now, I love Cam, I love her, but this is ridiculous. Cam, just because something isn't for you doesn't mean it's against you. That's like saying, oh, because you're voting for this means since you're supporting this politician, that means you're against this. No, 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 no. Sometimes we have to support things, but it comes with underlying factors that we don't support. Not everything is that black and white. And Cam's making it black and white when it's really not. Like, she knows Kara's explained her reasoning why she had to do what she did and keeping on Rachel's side. I mean, Ayana still went home. So what's the problem? I mean, regardless of the way it went down, Kara wasn't mad at Cam, but Cam's mad at Kara. So Cam has this attitude to where if you're not doing it what I want you to do the way I want you to do it, regardless if it gets done, you are op to me. And I don't fly with that. I think she needs to just realize, look, it's fine to want control and have control in this game, but you don't need to force people down your narrative to make it seem like it's the only path possible. Because then everyone's going to turn on you, and people are going to get sick of it. Because like, oh, well, Cam wants me to do this, and I can't do that. And Cam wants me to do that, and I can't do this. I just need Cam to just lay back a little bit. She got her way. Ayana's out the house. regardless who voted for who, what however happened, I don't care. As long as we get the touchdown, coach, I don't care if we ran the ball, threw the ball, punt return, kick return, fumble recovery, interception, we got the touchdown. That's all we needed to win the game, and she won the game. Well, that game last week's game. And so it's just a little confusing to me on why she's being. I don't recognize this Cam too much, you know. I don't. I know she likes to have her fingerprints all over the basketball in the game, but it's doing a little too much to me. I just hope it doesn't come back to bite her. But yeah, she's not happy with Cara at this point, and it seems like she's turning on her ult fully. And so soon we get to the challenge, and it's called unrated, un what's it called? Untangled. I think it's Untangled Reloaded, Untangled, Unwinded, Reloaded. I didn't get the full name down. But it's basically a remix from the challenge from the Inferno 3 to where you have to untie yourselves. And then once you're untied, you have to run this peg through this maze. And then you hit the button and then you're good. Very standard, very understanding. I like how these challenges aren't super confusing because sometimes in the flagship, you have like 5 minutes of directions. And I'm confused. I don't know what they're trying to do. I don't know what the objective is. These I like the simplicity of them with also adding an effect of the stunts. It's a very nice balance. This was a perfect one. It's been great to do. It was great to watch. It was very interesting. Required teamwork. Had the whole component of everything that we love and know about the challenge as it is. So this one was a 10 out of 10 for me on the challenge wise. Now, they randomly pick teams again. These whole random team thing is getting to get a little old. I'm not a fan of it. I think they should do it back in the day. Back in the day, what they did was whoever got first place got to pick the team, is the captain, or got to pick the teams. One of the two. Now it's this randomizer thing, which seems a little fishy. You know what I mean? Um, Not a huge fan of the randomization. I just want things to kind of just be follow a suit. Because the winners in these challenge All Stars 4 don't even really get power. You know, they're like, they get the chance to go in and get a star, which sure, that's power to a degree, but it's not really much power. You have to get like second place to get power because that's you're ultimately getting to decide who goes in. The winner doesn't even get to decide who goes in. That seems a little backwards to me. So I don't know, yo. I mean, you're safe, but second place is the sweet spot. You're safe and you get to pick. Like, who cares about the stars? Because the thing is, this show isn't gonna get to a point where, oh, you have a star, you're going home. They don't do that. They've tried this with the skulls where they're going to get down to the exact amount of eliminations. Nobody ever has went home on the show because they didn't have a skull or something to bring to the final. Only time they ever had something like that was the islands, and they had to have a key to get to a boat, and there was only 4 keys, and some people didn't have keys. That was the only time that rule ever went into place. So I don't know. This whole star thing is kind of like, it just seems like a cop out gimmick way to make people want to go into elimination or sense or cause some drama that's not going to happen because nobody's ever going to vote themselves in. That's ridiculous. But anyways, we get to it, and they get into teams of 5. And so the first place team is safety, and second place team gets to be the voting group, and third and fourth group get to be the. They have to be they're at sacrifice. They're up for elimination. And so the first heat goes by. We'll get through these challenges. I mean, it's standard. They struggle and they get through it. But in the first heat, the team of Jay, Tina, Brandon, Jasmine, and Avery, which is the red team, they finished first in that heat. And in the second heat, Cam, Ryan, Laurel, Steve, and Derek win that heat. So, yeah. Do this challenge, though. I mean, like I said, I like it. It requires teamwork, communication, you know, strategy to like who's going where and what's going who on a moving vehicle. The ropes all seem to be tied the same, so no kind of like flukiness on if anyone has an advantage or not. I think with the randomization of the teams, you would think like yeah, because you got the more athletic people, they're able to move their bodies easier, but it's more about somebody taking control. Maybe 1 or 2 people taking control and moving everybody else because you can't have 5 people all trying to do the same thing at once. That's not gonna work. You got to have 1 or 2 leaders, and everybody else kind of fall in line. And I think that's what the teams did. It seemed like with the pink team, Cam and Laurel were the team captains essentially, And on the red team, it was maybe Jay and Tina or Jay and Brandon, one of the two of two of the three combination, whoever it was, leading the charge there. So I think every all the other teams they just were too many mouths are speaking, too many mouths are speaking, too many ideas running through, and they just couldn't get it together. And that's a life lesson too, you know. Sometimes it's your time to take charge. Sometimes it's your time to take back seat. Sometimes it's your time to ride shotgun. You just got to know which lane and which role you got to fit into. I work on that every single day. Sometimes it's my time to shine. Sometimes it's my time to lay back. You know, it's different settings for every scenario. Like today, when I go to cover these events and I'm doing my podcast stuff, I gotta take. It's my time to get in the spotlight and take charge. But as I learned Monday when I went to an event and it didn't go as I planned, I should have taken more of a back seat. I shouldn't have been all up in the music videos, in the intro, in the songs. I should have just sat back. And so it's a lesson. It's a lesson we all got to learn in one way or another. But yeah, the challenge goes. It looks like a fun challenge. They get it done. In the middle, the losing teams, which are combined of being Veronica, Leroy, Flora, Brad, Ace, Rachel, Kefla, Cara, Maria, Nicole, and Adam. They're all up for elimination. It's a girls' day, so it's really only Veronica, Flora, Rachel, and Cara Maria, and Nicole. Well, I forgot Nicole was even up for elimination. Jesus. Um, they're all talking about throwing the strong girls in there, but nobody said Nicole's name. Interesting. But yes, soon, yes, the cast return to the house, and Laurel and Cam. So when they get back to the house, Laurel and Cam seem to be pretty close. Laurel and Cam had a pretty unpleasant relationship on War of the Worlds 2. They were going at each other. Laurel's accusing Cam of this, saying Cam pregame alliances. Cam's like, nah, I don't even know these people, and I don't know you like that. So what you talking about, sis? I didn't know they had that kind of relationship. It was very interesting. And then Cara's kind of like just left out there because she was Laurel and Cam's friend at a point, but she doesn't really seem to be talking to either of them anymore. I don't know. I don't know. It's very interesting, but I shout out to Cara, man. She always kind of get left out in the dust and the dirt, and she got to pick up the pieces. So she's doing what she can, pretty much solo dolo mode. I mean, no, she says she has Brandon in this episode. That's her like number one, but he's not really your number one. Like he said himself, you ain't seen each other in 8 years or talked. So she really has no one except for possibly Laurel and or Cam slash Leroy, which she thought, but she's slowly realizing they really ain't got her back like that. At least Cam and Leroy don't, or at least Cam doesn't. At least Cam doesn't. But we have another episode of the Laurel and Nicole soap opera as well happening, and they said they weren't going to talk to each other, but they're attracted to each other, and they didn't know this was going to happen. Come on now, y'all. Was we born yesterday? We know they capping all the way. Look, the Laurel and Nicole thing, this is like, I feel like this is every single week I'm talking about this. It's tired. It's boring. We get it. Y'all faked the relation of being mad at each other coming to the show to make people think y'all had animosity, but y'all really wasn't about that life and throwing each other in. Because if Laurel really didn't like her, she would have said her name or got her name up there because she was up for elimination. It's just fake. Like I don't care that they're getting back together, but just make your beef authentic if it was beef. If it's not, then what are you doing? I don't believe y'all just made up that quick out of all this time and all the things y'all went through. I saw y'all on X on the beach. It was toxic. And it looks like next week episode is gonna be double trouble. Pokemon settings. Team Rocket settings essentially. But yeah, it's tired, y'all. It's tired. I mean, they just need to. I mean, they even have a scene where it's like when they're talking, Laurel goes like down to grab something, and Nicole's sitting up here, and I'm like, is she about to go in? Oh, I was crying when I saw that. I wanted to screenshot it, but I was like, don't do it. But y'all know what I'm talking about if you've seen the episode. But yeah, um, as as some would say, it's is Nick Jr. You know, it's Nick Jr. But yes, we see Cara Maria and Brandon have a little talk, and we get a short backstory in their relationship. And Brandon says our relationship is, you know, strictly on the show. We talked to each other in the show. We know each other. We came in on the Fresh Meat 2 together. We were partners once. Didn't work out that well. But yeah, he says he has her back 100%. It just sucks to see a brother. I mean, look, Brandon, I'm not super high on Brandon. I'm not super like low on Brandon. Brandon's kind of like really in the middle for me. Um, he's not the best competitor on these shows. Like he's not gonna bruise anyone up in like a hall brawl, and he's not gonna outsmart a ton of people either. He's kind of just like there, you know, treading water. But he doesn't have that many allies in this game either. I think he's aligned with Laurel, Cam, Jasmine. It was Janelle, but she's gone, and maybe like I think that's it. I think that's it. And you, if you're a guy, you don't want to get away your strong women allies. Now, I know this is a solo game and only one winner, so he's probably thinking like, look, Cara can beat me, so I need her out. It's a game at the end of the day, so I understand that part of it. But this is still kind of early in the game, and you're getting rid of a strong ally of yours, not just a strong player, a strong ally. Now, Rachel could have went home too, so she's not his ally, but I don't know. He's burning that bridge, and you don't want the strong person coming back against you. And I think his best thing could have been just like play the middle. And you know, Veronica, this elimination was not physical. Anybody could have won. It was throwing shuriken, throwing knives, essentially. You know, I mean, Veronica could have won this elimination. Tina could have won this elimination. Anybody could have won this elimination, and that just goes to show like you never know what can happen. And I think if he just stuck his loyalties, it'll work out for him better. But I don't think doing this move is the smartest one for him, his game. But that's just me. You don't turn on Cara Maria as well because she's gonna come back. She's one of the best elimination records of all time. And Rachel ain't been in the game in a minute, so I don't know Brandon. I like Brandon, but I don't know about that move. And so the cast goes to the bar, and Tina is doing her best to try and convince Jasmine that she should save Veronica and Rachel, that she should not save Veronica and Rachel and save them. But Jasmine ain't buying it. I don't blame Jasmine for not buying it. Like, look, Tina, you gotta, if you want something, you gotta give something. You can't just say, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. You know, you sound like Uncle Sam. He's the only one who gets something and ain't gotta pay nothing back. So, I just Tina's best bet was to say Nicole, get everyone to jump on Nicole, so at least she wouldn't have both Veronica and Rachel in there. Yeah, I think she was somewhat aligned with Cara as well. So Tina just like I guess Veronica was right. She did not do a good job of convincing these people to not say Rachel's name. Now Rachel doesn't know these other people that great either, and she's a physical threat. So it's the smartest thing, like Cam said, to vote Rachel and Cara because at least one strong person is going home. At least one strong person. But Nicole's a strong person too, physically. I don't think anyone's scared of Nicole in the final because it's puzzles and whatnot, and they know that she's not that great at that. But I don't know. For Tina's game, she needed Nicole and somebody else, and then she would have been all right. But I don't know. I don't know what she was trying to do and convince, and it seemed like she was trying to use bully tactics again. But it wasn't working on Jasmine. Jasmine, she's holding it down. She's holding down that post like Shaquille O'Neal, and not letting anybody come through. So that's what settings Jasmine was on. So I guess shout out Jasmine for holding it down. You know, you're not getting pressure to do anything anybody else wants you to do. Do your own thing. So I like that. Cam wants Cara and Rachel in there because they're two strongest women. That's standard. Of course, she sticks with that. That's kind of her MO. They're champions as well. So Cam wants a new champion. Cam wants the strong girls against each other. Smart gameplay. Smart gameplay. Because she's not aligned with them. At least not Cara, it seems anymore, and definitely not Rachel. So she can do without them. So we see Brandon. He's even talking about throwing Cara in after he just said, "I got you 100%." And Cara thinks he got her 100%. So it's looking real peak from Miss Cara Maria. So, Cara, Brandon said if he ever came back, his goal was to target the strongest people first, and that's what he's gonna do. So, that's his game plan. We'll see how that goes for him. But Cara is being told that Cara's being told by Ace that she's getting set up by her friends, and she goes up there to confront Jay and Brandon. And she says she never thinks that they'll say her name because she knows them from way back. She kind of came to the game same time as them too, and she doesn't think that they would be lying to her face. But Brandon does just that and lie straight to her face, which is a tough pill to swallow. This brother seems like a loyal brother, and he's not being loyal to me. I wonder why. He's sticking on Brandon's sticking on code though. I'll give him that. Brandon, you on code, brother. So that's good. But at the same time, your real relationships, I think, have to triumph over other things. I don't know how real this relationship with Leroy and Cam is. If it's that real, solid breakdown, 10 toes down with them, great. Then, but if it's just for the game purposes, can you really trust them? But I think it's real. I think it's real. We'll see. And so the deliberation soon begins, and they decide. They're figuring out who they're going to vote for, and Brandon votes Rachel and Cara. Avery votes Veronica and Cara. Jay votes Rachel and Flora. Jasmine, she gives a little speech about, her in the past playing other people's games, and now she's not going to do that anymore. And her being a scapegoat, and her just falling in line, and she's like I'm playing my own thing right here. And what happens happens. So she votes Rachel and Cara. Now, Rachel and Cara going in at this point. There's no other alternative. And so Tina, during this whole deliberation, which was a little frustrating, she's like, I want to go last. I want to go last. I want to go last. You don't want to vote last because then your vote will not matter. If you vote early on, some people will just get nervous and keep saying the same name because they don't want to say a different name, and they'll just default. Well, your name was already said. That's where her mess up was. I don't see what the benefit of voting last. Sure, you could have a swing vote and do whatever you want, but if your friends are the ones in danger, you got to start that rhythm off with someone else. You can't just go along with the people at the end and just try and keep your hands clean. If you're trying to protect your friends, you're gonna have to get down and dirty for your friends. And Tina just messed this all up. She should have definitely got somebody else in there, Flora or Nicole, or yeah, Flora or Nicole, 100%. But she just didn't press that enough. Because I think if she started saying those two names, some people are like, oh, okay, we'll just follow with that. Because some people like to play a scared game. I'm not gonna say who, but sometimes they do. But yeah, she dropped the ball heavily there. And Tina, she's like, I'm not voting. I'm not voting till last. I'm like, Tina, what are you doing? That's not making no sense. She wasn't making no kind of sense. And I love Tina too. She's one of my favorite players, but she had one too many margaritas before this vote. And so, yes, it's inevitable what the result is going to be. So Tina just says he burns her vote and votes Cara and Rachel, which you also shouldn't have done because even if your vote is burned, you still got to hold your integrity for your friends, which she didn't have either. So she didn't have her brains and she didn't have her integrity with her friends. So I don't know what's going on. And so their votes will be revealed to Rachel and Cara. They seem fine with it. They give each other hugs. But then Cara goes off on Jasmine, like, what happened? I thought we had my back. And then Brandon, at the same time, she's like, what the hell, guys? And, Jasmine says Cara's acting like a baby and she needs a pacifier. Jasmine's confession this episode was 10 out of 10. Jasmine, this was your episode. This was your episode. Um, but yeah, it's sucks for Cara because she thought she had some people in here, but she really sees what time it is. And she doesn't want to be on this setting. She's trying to figure out what she can do, but it's too late at this point. And Rachel also confronts Tina about why she said her name, and she said, it was dumb. Like you should have did something, but anything but say my name. That's not helping anybody in any case. I don't care if you're the only vote not to say my name. Don't say my name. We're supposed to be 10 toes down. Sorry, y'all. It's been a long day. 10 toes down. And I'm down with Rachel saying, I don't care if anyone says my name. Don't you do it too. You gonna hop on with everybody else when I'm getting stomped out. You gonna stomp on me too at the end? Come on now. Come on now, Tina. Have some code with you, man. But we soon get to the elimination. And Kara just says before we start, she realizes who her friends are and who they aren't. And then Brandon abruptly says, I haven't talked to you in 8 years. I was like, whoa. She's like, aggressive. That was a little uncalled for. I mean, she did say their names first. She called out Brandon and Jasmine, thought they were her friends, and they have all the right to clap back. If somebody says your name, you're 100% free reign to say whatever you want to say. And they didn't hold no punches. So Jasmine goes off. Brandon says what he needs to say, and Kara's just like, okay, let's get this thing started because I don't want this. I don't want no more smoke. And Jasmine presses Kara heavily. But yeah, it's funny. So we get the elimination, and Rachel's also a good sport about it. She's like, I just want more stars, and so a funny moment there. I love Rachel too. Rachel, she's cool. She's not the most entertaining, I'd say, which is kind of like odd I root for, but she hasn't been in the game so long to where she doesn't have to be like all up in your face. Like she's a nice change of pace person, and she competes hard, and she does what she can for her friends, and she goes down for whatever they're going with, and she is aligned to weaker players, which is an honorable thing to do. So I know I keep saying she needs to ditch them, give us some stronger people, but what she's doing is honorable, and I can't put any salt on her name because of that. But yes, the elimination is some Naruto star throwing. Basically, all you have to do is hit your opponent's face 3 times with these shuriken miss weapons against this plywood with that's painted with people's faces and other things and whatnot. Um, it's very simple. Just hit your opponent 3 times. Now, throwing these things is kind of like axe throwing. You go to the bar, you get the axe throws. It's something you kind of got to work on. You just go do it randomly. You're not gonna hit that target in the middle the first, second, third, fourth time. You got to practice it a little bit. It's all about the flick of the wrist, as Miko said. And the elimination begins, and it's sad, y'all. It's sad, sad, sad. They throwing it over the board. They throwing it outside the board. They throwing it under the board. Like it's people need to watch out. I wonder if any cast members got hurt with the participation of this competition because they couldn't hit the backside of a barn. It was atrocious, y'all. I mean, shoot, they definitely wasn't taking no performance enhancers for this. They needed some performance enhancers for this to make the elimination go quicker. I wonder how long it lasted. I probably lasted like 30 minutes to an hour, I'd say, because it took them some time, I can imagine. But yes, soon Kara hits first, but she ends up hitting her own face. And this whole competition is like a joke. Like they're laughing, it's silly, it's not taken serious till the very end. But yeah, Kara hits her own. Then Kara hits one of Rachel's. Then Rachel hits one of Kara's. Then Kara hits one of Rachel's. And then now it's tied up 2-2. The third one wins. And then Kara finally lands the third on Rachel. She wins. A little anticlimactic. Not my favorite elimination. A little too, I don't want to say luck based. There's some skill to this because how you throw. And if you've been axe throwing, you do darts throwing, whatever it is, you'd be good at this. But if you don't, it's not your day, coach. But yes, Kara wins. Rachel goes home. It was nice to see Rachel on the show. Like I said, bringing back a face that we haven't seen in a long time. And she's a competitor too. We need more competitive women on the show, and it's showing this season. Like this season is stacked with Laurel, Kara, Rachel, etc., to where they're bringing it every day, every challenge, every elimination, and I love that. I don't like seeing like people who just easily just stand by the wayside and just are there and filler people. That's not what I'm here to watch. I'm here to watch some drama. I'm here to watch some good comp. And I'm here to watch crazy, fun eliminations. So elimination was lackluster for me a little bit, but they got to throw these little weird gimmick eliminations in there. But yes, Cara wins, and it's time to give her star to takes. It's time to give her second star to somebody else. She takes Rachel's star, which becomes hers, but then she has to give it to another woman, and she ends up giving it to Jasmine. She debates Laurel as well, but she gives it to Jasmine because she says, you can be a Stargate as well, just like me, because I don't want to have a repeat scenario of me giving it to Laurel and me and Laurel facing off because people want that star. Cara, I see her thinking there. She weighed the pros and cons of giving it to one or two people, but I think if you just do somebody a favor rather than a disfavor, then you could sneakily get the person, aka Jasmine, who tried to get you out before, instead of putting a target on hers. I think it wasn't the worst move. I see what she's getting at, but this it's not about. You don't need to have a star to be a target. I don't think the people only people with stars are targets. I mean, the last if you win the elimination, you get to steal someone's star. So it doesn't really matter at all per se. But yeah, it didn't really matter who she took and who she gave it to. I mean, I think she has one of her own, but maybe help someone out who's very like your friend and they'll even be moral or try and win someone over as a friend. Do it in the way to win someone over, not screw somebody else out. But I think, yeah, it didn't do much for her. It didn't do much for her. Jasmine's not happy with shit. I mean, Jasmine don't care. She's like, look, it is what it is. I'm not gonna be easy out. So Jasmine yapping that mouth. She running. She barking. And Cam thinks it was a dumb move because she should have gotten or gave her star to Laurel because she's the biggest threat, and Kara is not strategic at all. I probably would have just done give somebody a favor. Maybe give it to Laurel as a favor. Give it to Nicole as a favor. Make it a new alliance to help work with you instead of just keeping the same people working against you. Jasmine was already against you. You didn't do anything to really hurt or help her game. So I don't know. That was an interesting move, but it's a move that was made. But yeah, y'all, that was episode 4 of the Challenge All Stars. Very good episode. Very, very good episode. Not as good as when Ayana was here. I'm sad that she's gone still, but hey, rest in peace. And I hope she's still doing well with her recovery. But yeah, I think the game's getting interesting. Next week we get some, hopefully the final act of the Nicole Laurel drama because the story is tired and I'm ready for it to be over. And it's a guys elimination, so we'll see when the fellas go home. But yeah, that was the Challenge All Stars episode 4. Appreciate y'all for joining me. Until next time, y'all, we out. Peace and blessings, and have a wonderful rest of your day.